Well, Eric, I'm very sorry that you could not be with us on this happy occasion, but at least you're with us virtually, and I hope there will be many occasions in the future where we will be happy to host you in Italy in person. As you know, today is a special day for us. It's the inauguration of our Scuola Ortogonale, when we are admitting our incoming students for the academic year. And all my colleagues, and in particular the students, are very grateful to your gracious and generous support for this initiative. And we really would like to give you a heartfelt thank you to you and Schmidt Sciences. It's really a wonderful opportunity for all of us.
I think you're being too kind. You and I have worked together for 40 years or so.
Yes,
And
we have.
when
We
I,
have.
when I wanted to get something started in Italy, you were the right person to call.
Right.
So I
Thank
have
you.
great confidence that this program will transform Italian computer science.
Now, just a very brief introduction for the audience who's here with me. For the very few who may not know you, suffice it to say that among your innumerable accomplishments, you're probably best known for the role that you took in the formation of a small startup called Google during its formative years. And as you just mentioned, we go back even before the advent of Google. We were together at Berkeley during our PhD several years before. Now, perhaps a less known aspect of your background is your affinity with Italy, and in general, in Italy in general, and Bologna in particular. Perhaps you could just say a few words to the audience here, how that came about.
So my father was an international economic professor. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. And one day as a boy, I was informed that we were moving to Italy because he became a professor of international economics at Johns Hopkins in Bologna. And I remember flying overnight to Stuttgart, getting the car, my father driving the car all the way down through the Alps and into Bologna, which in my view was magical.
Mhm.
So I was there for 2 years, and I have the memories of a boy. So I have the memories of being in a Montessori school and being
Yes,
in a house which is now used as a school, and so forth. But it was Italy before Italy is Italy today. It was a
yes.
simpler and more,
Innocent times, yes,
let's say, more pastoral.
yes,
Obviously, there was no connectivity, but the
yes,
Italian culture is so incredible that you have to love Italy.
yes. Very good. I'm delighted to hear you recount these memories. Now, in your leadership roles, you have always cultivated a very rich environment for research. And if you remember, in 2007, you came to Italy, to Bertinoro, to attend a meeting that we had organized together with the heads of Yahoo Research and IBM Research at the time. And the title of the meeting was The Role of Research in Information Technology Industry. Now, I wonder if you can say a few words about how you see the enormous importance of applied research as a powerful engine for not only economic growth, but also scientific progress in our modern society.
Well, I remember that meeting very, very well, which you hosted, and it was a great use of my time. And of course, I've been back many times,
Yes.
most recently to accept an award and give a speech at the Bologna Town Square, which was very
Yes.
meaningful to me for my own memories. Um, One way to understand human progress is human progress comes precisely from the kind of invention and innovation that you just said. It's important to understand that we have lots of problems all the time, right? 100 years ago, we had energy problems, and then we discovered physics of the modern kind, and we eventually developed new forces of energy. We have all sorts of communications problems, and fiber optics and lasers and so forth all have largely solved that, at least for the developed world. And so from a very small group, ideally, people from the institute that you set up, you can change the world. A current example is the AI craze, which is of a massive scale. And yet it started with a relatively small set of researchers, 20 years ago, who were working on deep learning, stuff that you and I worked on way back when. And the
Yes.
fact of the matter is that a lot of people think, oh my God, this whole thing arrived. But it started with research, and in particular applied research, exactly the way you described. If I can further say, the American system has more money in it. There's literally more donations, more systems, more labs, and so forth for biology, for science, for physics, and so forth and so on. And I think one of the things that we need to do collectively is get more money into the system, specifically more money into the great universities of Europe. And I'm going to start with yours. You see my point.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Now, why do you think interdisciplinary study is so important today?
Well, it looks like almost every problem has an interdisciplinary component. The fact of the matter is that if you're a hardware person, you need to understand software. If you're a software person, you need to understand hardware. If you're a physicist or a chemist, you have to understand enough about biology to see its application in the areas of biology. I think you're going to see if a person chooses to be narrowly a mathematician or narrowly a physicist, I think that's great. But the system will benefit if that mathematician can do applied math, if that physicist can apply their incredible talents into something like computer science or dynamic systems or various mechanical systems, et cetera. Applied research is the seed corn of economic growth. And let's think about Italy. Italy is declining population and aging population, very, very smart young people. We need your young people to build the systems that will support the aging population and the growth of the country. It's not going to happen elsewhere. It's going to happen because you invent it, because you invent, using my words, the hardware and the software, which includes, by the way, the physics, the chemistry, the biology, the material science, and the key things.
And that's exactly what the Scuola Ortogonale is trying to do. It's exactly our mission. In your opinion, what are the biggest challenges facing computer science education today? Having said what we just said, what the goals are, what are the biggest challenges?
I suspect you have an interesting answer to your own question as well.
Yes.
The biggest problem today, literally right now, is not the talent, but the access to the hardware. So in computer science, we have the benefit of an enormous number of brilliant people who might have gone to math or physics or whatever, and they've chosen computer science. So welcome to our field.
Yes.
But the tools that they need are so much more expensive than the tools that you and I needed and had when we were at Berkeley.
Yes.
To give you an example, the typical large tech company has a cluster of 50 or 100,000 GPUs. Every one of those GPUs costs $50,000 to purchase. So I'm sorry to use dollars, but it's easier for me. You can translate to euros. And they have these huge upgrade cycles and so forth and so on. The universities that I've talked to are lucky if they have 50, 50. That's 3 orders of magnitude, 1,000 times less. So my computer science friends who are really brilliant are playing in little corners because they can't solve the big problem.
Right.
So I would say right now, the highest priority is to get more hardware money. That is literally more systems, more computers, more of the things that you need in order to do the next stage of computer science. I wish it were that we had other problems, but the good news about the hardware problem is you can just buy it.
Yes.
You just need the money.
Yes. Well, if I can make a personal request, if you can wish our incoming students good luck and well wishes for their endeavor, because it's really an adventure that we're all embarking upon.
So to the students, remember that you're the first ones.
Yes.
So be successful, set the right standard, make sure that you set the bar high enough that the next people are even smarter, faster, better than you, because you'll always have their gratitude for having been the founders of a fantastic institution. And to you, Ozalp, as I said at the beginning, when I wanted to do something in computer science in Europe, and in particular in Italy, we chose you. Thank you very much.
We'll do our best. Thank you very much, Eric.